Alright, so I listened to both the Eminem, KillShot, and MGK, Rap Devil. And, most people have already reviewed Rap Devil, so I'm not going to go with that. I mean, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I thought Rap Devil, I thought the beat was crazy. I thought the personals were, I thought they were hard-hitting personals. I thought he was direct. I thought what he lacked was, obviously, there wasn't a lot of lyricism to it. And the fast rapping in it, to me, that's not, I mean, it sounds cool and everything, but that doesn't do a whole lot for me unless there's crazy content mixed in with it. But, the fact that he came back to an Eminem diss when people like Joe Budden, a higher rated rapper, are scared to do it, says something. But anyways, the Eminem kill shot, one thing I want to point out is it damn near broke the internet. It's like you couldn't even make comments on it for like the first 24 hours it was out. It got a lot of views really quick. It got a lot of comments. It has a lot of thumbs up. A lot of people are very happy with it. So I think, all in all, I think that Eminem did a good job in terms of satisfying his customer base. All of his fans, for the most part, are happy with it. A lot of people are, saying that he totally killed him and he can't come back. I don't think that's the case. I thought that the diss track by Eminem, I thought it was very lyrical, but it's not that good of a song. So I don't think it's going to, for example, I'll compare it to I'll compare this battle to LL Cool J versus Cannabis. And I think the reason why I use that is because LL Cool J was all the way up here. I mean, he was a top tier MC at the time, and Cannabis was the newcomer, the no name. And when Cannabis dissed LL Cool J, I mean, it was a big deal because it had a hard beat. Mike Tyson was in the video. It was lyrical. It had the personals, and he was rapping with conviction. He drew you into it. When LL came back on his response, I'm just using some history to kind of put this in perspective. I didn't think LL's song was as good, but LL had such a big fan base, such a big customer base, and he had the one memorable line, which was a flip, 99% of your fans don't exist. That was really all he needed, But when you look back 20 years later, ain't nobody talking about that LL Cool J Ripper. It's all about second round knockout. So I kind of think this is that's kind of like what this is. I think that the MGK song is going to stand the test of time more so than KillShot. But I think KillShot satisfied Eminem's fans. I think it satisfied his fan base. I think it brought excitement back to hip hop, or back to rap. And it has a lot of people looking forward to it. So, I mean, that's, I don't want to sit up here and who else is doing that, So, I think that he definitely deserves credit. I think I think it is kind of a pressure spot when everybody's telling you, hey, you're the best rapper that ever lived. All you do is kill people. And people are expecting you to knock this man's head off. So I think it is a lot of pressure to live up to. Like I said, I don't think MGK I don't think he killed him. I don't think his career is over. None of that stuff. Not that I don't even know if that's what he was trying to do. I don't really think that's what he was trying to do based on a lot of the personals. It was more like a rebuttal to a lot of things MGK was saying. Now, because he rebutted it doesn't mean any of them are true. Do you believe MGK's version or do you believe Eminem's version? Is what it comes down to. So because he rebutted it gives you an option on, who do you think was telling the truth, or whose personals hit harder or whatnot. But I think the main thing about it, the main compliment to Eminem's song was that, one, it satisfied his customer base. It was very lyrical. He had a lot of different patterns in there, even though I felt like it was kind of a rush song. Because there are some errors in it, where he does go off beat a little bit on a part, and that's not typical for Eminem, so I think it was kind of a hurried song. But it was very lyrical. He had a lot of 2-in-1s, what people call double entendres. And there are some hidden jewels in there. It's like Luck says, rewind to find, there's more to find. rewind to find there's more to find. And it is one of those songs where you have to listen to it multiple times to truly appreciate it. Now, I think one of the weaknesses of the song is that if you're not a hardcore Eminem fan, you know, the song doesn't really draw you in. So I think a lot of people aren't going to give it, if you're not an Eminem fan, I don't think a lot of people are going to give it a lot of multiple listens and multiple spins to get really comfortable with it and to start really pulling out the jewels in it. And I think some people were turned away because of, you know, it was just a very lyrical song. The lyrical ability was way high above the actual beat that he used, and I think the personals I thought were kind of light. Just my personal opinion, but the pen game was on point. You know what I mean? It's like Eminem is damn near in his own lane on that. He's very lyrical, especially for being a mainstream rapper, because most of the very, very lyrical dudes are not mainstream rappers. You know, that Loaded Lux freestyle on Hot 97 is one of the most lyrical things I've ever heard, but, you know, there's 2.6 million people have clicked on that, so it's not getting a ton of play because, you know, obviously he doesn't have the branding like that, or people don't connect with his content, or they don't know what the fuck he's saying, because, you know, sometimes people get so lyrical that you have to know how to speak the language, you know, and battle rap is a different entity. But anyways, I thought Eminem, the song kind of felt forced, I thought, a little bit. I didn't think it had a lot of conviction. It didn't have a lot of emotion to it. And I thought that's why it's really not going to suck in a lot of people that aren't hardcore Eminem fans. But it really is impossible to beat Eminem. Like I said, he's got such a crazy fan base that a lot of people really thought that what he did on Sway, the interview he did on Sway, was enough. You know, there were a lot of people in the comments saying that. I think really what's interesting is if MGK comes back with another diss, because he's not dead. I mean, he's still putting up numbers. That Eminem diss is still putting up numbers. You know, his subscriber base is growing. He still has comments that came out after KillShot that have got 1,000 likes on it. So, you know, he's not dead. He's on tour right now. The thing is if he comes back with another diss, will Eminem put him away? Because it's like, you take Eminem songs like Lose Yourself. I mean, that had conviction to it. Just listen to that song. That song off of Curtain Call with Nate Dogg. Till the beat goes out, till my heart cut out. We go like that song. I don't know what the name, but you know, there's a lot of conviction in what he's rapping. It's like you can feel that, man. It's like I said, Lose Yourself. It gives you goosebumps on certain parts because the connection that it has with just the average person is so real. I think that's what he has to get back into. He has to really put his heart in it, because we all know Eminem is capable of closing the door on MGK if that's what he wants to do. I don't know if that's his goal or not. So all in all, I thought the diss track was good enough to satisfy his fan base, but MGK is still alive. You know, he didn't kill MGK off. There's not anything on there that makes me embarrassed to listen to an MGK song. You know, so yeah, that's it. I think ultimately between them, I think that obviously most people are going to say Eminem won. His like to dislike ratio is insane on his song. It's putting up numbers quicker. So I think right now, I mean, it's hard to not say Eminem didn't win, because that's what most people are saying. But I think when if we revisit this in a year, if we revisit this in 2 years, I think the MGK song is a better song. So it's going to have more longevity. I think Eminem is more of like a lyrical display, a lyrical exercise, which is what he does a lot. And to a lot of people that don't realize it, lyricism is alive and well in hip-hop. You know, I don't know what, you know, if you're just listening to, you know, Lil this and Young that, then you may disagree, but I'm not that type of person. Like, I search for I know what artists are out there. Like, I know what high-level lyricism is. And Eminem is a high-level lyricist. He's the gold standard of lyricism. Normally when you have a really good lyricist, you bump him against Eminem to see how good he is. But there are dudes up there that are flipping lyrics, that are hitting crazy patterns, that are having double entendres, triple and quadruple, and Conceited had a quadruple entendre. If you may not even know who he is. But so I mean, these things are being done. So it's, it's not the fact that you do it that's impressive. It's how good do you do it. Just because you hit a double entendre for me is, oh, I'm not blown away, because I've seen so many people do it. It's, what did you do with it? So I thought Eminem had good double entendres in there. I know he had that Jada Kiss, he had that Zit line, but all in all, I think that it was. I thought it was decent. I didn't think this was like a top 5 or a top 10 diss track of all times. It wasn't like that. I don't think it was super memorable. I don't think he had like the best moment he had in there was the Puff Daddy line. That was the memorable moment. That was the takeaway. That's the line that'll probably live the longest on that. Now, when comparing it to MGK, I don't think MGK had a lot of memorable lines. He had the memorable personal of, you're trying to blackball me, but it's like when we present that, we don't even put it in rhyme form. We just go to the subject matter rather than how he lyrically expressed it, because it wasn't a super lyrical song. But ultimately, it's good for hip hop. I think MGK I think that he's getting a boost to his career because of this. I think Eminem satisfied his fan base with this. So all in all, I think it's a win for both of them. Personally, I do like the MGK track better. I just think it's easier to listen to. I've listened to the MGK track probably 20 times. I've listened to the Eminem track maybe about 10 times. So I'm sure I'm going to get hated on for this. I'm going to get slammed. It's sad, but I get called a racist and everything for this. But that's just what it is. That's where we're at. Like I said, I think Eminem, his hits, like Lose Yourself, those songs are classics. Honestly, Lose Yourself for me, is probably a top 10 hip hop song of all time, because the lyricism is such at a high level, but at the same time, the content was at a high level too. That's why that song was really, really good. This diss track, KillShot, I don't think the content is at a high level. All right, so that's my review, analysis, comparison, whatever you want to call it. Enjoy.